Do you always feel an annoying urge to pee, but when you get to the bathroom, you can barely squeeze out a few drops? Then you need to do this beer jug test today. This test has been turning back the clock on years of prostate enlargement procedures, leaving doctors speechless as it's more accurate than their useless pee tests and humiliating rectal checkups. In fact, by taking this test today, you'll quickly find out if you are in danger of getting an inflamed prostate and whether you need urgent medical attention. This scientifically proven test is so easy that you can do it today from the comfort of your own home. All you need to do is take a transparent beer jug or beer glass, pour cold tap water into it, then cover the glass and leave it on the table until the next day. What you're about to see will completely change everything you know about your prostate issues, helping you take full control of your bladder and allowing you to pee like a racehorse and enjoy a steady and powerful urine flow, while boosting your libido and adding years of good sex and a new sense of freedom in your life. As rumors go, this hack has been used for years by the SpaceX crew to pee in zero gravity. As most of SpaceX's experts happen to be in their 50s, they need to be able to fix delicate technological systems without having to constantly think about peeing or dealing with BPH. It's also believed that the oldest billionaires in the world are using the same hack to fix their prostate issues and get fully potent in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. So, it's no wonder why scientists are doing hundreds of experiments just to be able to explain why it works so well. Listen, despite what you've been led to believe by doctors or big pharma, your prostate becoming enlarged is not a normal part of aging. In fact, studies from Harvard have shown that the real cause of a growing uncomfortable prostate has everything to do with a mineral buildup that is lurking in your urinary system right now, coating the walls of your bladder and filling your prostate with toxic gunk and limestone-like deposits that hang heavy, adding constant pressure on your urethra. Once you understand exactly what's happening in your body and start using this method, not only will you have the power to take full control of your bladder and even support your kidneys to eliminate infections and stones, but you'll also free yourself from anxiety and fatigue and regain your vitality, sex drive, and endurance way beyond the very best days of your youth. No matter if you're 40, 70, or 80 years old, no matter how long you've been suffering from prostate enlargement or what your medical condition is, just imagine what it would feel like to not waste countless hours of sitting on the toilet struggling to push out a few drops of pee, maintain a steady stream, or feeling that you'll be leaking urine in front of everyone, and never having to worry about health complications like urinary tract infections, painful bladder stones, aggressive kidney diseases, or ending up in diapers, or about the fact that you'll only inspire pity in your partner and that you'll be seen as senile by those around you. Instead, imagine turning back the clock and feeling like a man in his prime again, peeing like a racehorse and enjoying unlimited strength and libido, just like over 157,000 men have already done. Men like Ben C. from Glendale, Arizona, who says,
"Before I tried out your method, I had completely forgotten how it was to pee without struggling. My entire life was basically me going to the toilet dozens of times per day, begging God to squeeze a few drops. Now, I'm peeing like a fire hose whenever I want. I have so much strength, I can hardly believe it. I feel so relieved. I thought I had to live with this for the rest of my life, and now I'm finally free. Thank you. I hope more men find out about this."
I don't usually try stuff like this, but what really inspired me was a story of the SpaceX crew. If it's good for them, it's good for me, and boy, has it changed my life. I'm just a few months in, and I'm so happy with the results. I can finally pee with ease. The sensation of a fully empty bladder is priceless, I'll tell you that. Plus, I no longer get infections, and I sleep like a baby all through the night. I can finally go to soccer matches again with my friends and not miss a single moment. It's just the best feeling.
Or Andrew Parker from Garland, Texas.
"This condition made me so depressed. I became very isolated. I stopped meeting my friends and visiting my family members. Aside from my wife, nobody else knew what was really going on because I was just too embarrassed to tell them. I went on like this for about 6 years before I decided to try your method. Never in a million years did I think it was going to be so effective and so quickly. So to all you men out there, you need to try this method in order to believe and see how good it really is."
Once you see the groundbreaking science behind this inexpensive solution yourself, I'm sure you'll be excited to give it a try. In the next 5 minutes, I'll reveal why more and more American men are suffering from BPH, urinary and kidney infections or ED, and why their number is expected to increase by 35% every single year. The reason why government officials' heads would roll one after the other if the truth about BPH gets out, and how you can find out if you're secretly being poisoned just by checking this one detail about your toilet bowl. And last but not least, you'll discover why SpaceX's astronauts never get BPH, and how they manage to pee like racehorses in zero gravity by doing something you can do without even having to get up from your couch. Hello, my name is David Turner. I am 64 years old, and I live in a small city close to New Haven, Connecticut, together with my wife, Lisa. For over 36 years, I've been an anatomy and cell biology professor at a world-renowned medical research university, teaching and hopefully inspiring the future doctors of our country. All these years has been incredibly rewarding for me. In fact, as you're about to see, had it not been for my teaching job, I wouldn't have come across this prostate shrinking 15-second ritual that transformed my health and is now changing the lives of so many men. A few months after turning 50, I started having problems with my prostate. At first, I found myself looking for toilets more often. My flow wasn't as steady and powerful as it used to be. Sometimes the urge was so strong that I had to go in the middle of my classes or during a meeting, something that had never happened to me. And it used to take me way too long. So long that I started using closed toilet cubicles and gave up on urinals just because I was too ashamed to pee next to my younger colleagues. As my issues got worse by the day, I put all my faith in doctors. I went through stressful rectal exams, blood and urine tests, and threw money at screenings and detailed analyses, hoping it would pay off. I even had a transrectal ultrasound and a catheter threaded through my urethra to my bladder. It was awful. But not a single one of the treatments prescribed really worked for me. In fact, maybe I can save you some money and trouble by telling you the so-called treatments and methods that did absolutely nothing for me, as well as the ones that are plain dangerous. Let's start with medication like alpha blockers such as Uroxetrol, Cardarol, or Flomax, or 5-alpha reductase inhibitors such as Proscar or Avodart. These medications should relax your bladder muscles or shrink your prostate by preventing hormonal changes. Sadly, these meds only work temporarily in men with relatively small prostates, and side effects include severe dizziness, nausea, and headaches. Sometimes your doctor might recommend combining drug therapy, which means combined side effects. Or maybe they might try to convince you to go through a minimally invasive surgical therapy. For this, you have to somehow scrape up anywhere between $20,000 and $130,000 and hope for the best. Not only are results not guaranteed, but the procedure can still leave you prone to complications like semen flowing backward into the bladder instead of out through the penis during ejaculation, bleeding, urinary tract infection, and erectile dysfunction. All in all, after a few years of prostate problems, I was frankly exhausted about the nightly trips to the bathroom, and I just hated being in the toilet for one more second than necessary. At one point, I was spending more time in the restroom than in my bed. To top it all, my libido was far from what it had been. After losing my erection a few times in the bedroom, I was scared to even try to be intimate with my wife. It broke my heart, as I could feel she was drifting away from me. She kept saying that she was fine and that things would be okay. Even so, I could tell there wasn't a glimpse of hope left in her that I could ever satisfy her again. When she said she needed to talk one day, I was convinced she wanted to ask for a divorce. Surprisingly, she proposed that we go on a trip to the Canary Islands to maybe blow off some steam together. I couldn't refuse her, even though the plane trip was an embarrassing hell for both of us, as I always had to occupy the toilet. I can remember even now how people rolled their eyes at me as I had to wait for me to come out of the bathroom once again. Then, during our 2-week holiday, something strange happened. Even though I would go to the restroom, I was peeing less and less, maybe one drop here and there. I didn't want to worry too much about it or ruin anyone's holiday, so I just put it down to my usual prostate issues. However, after a few days, a rigid bulge appeared in my abdomen. Initially, I thought it was a hernia and not serious enough or urgent to spend thousands of dollars in a hospital in a foreign country. But after not peeing for 48 hours straight, not even a single drop, I started freaking out. The bulge got bigger, and I started to feel weird, so I went to the tiny local hospital close to our holiday resort. After the doctor examined me, I found out that my hernia was actually my bladder. It was filled with pee and on the brink of bursting. The only way to release the liquid was to insert a catheter into my manhood. I was so terrified that I accepted immediately, praying to God until the last minute that they would eventually find a better solution. Sadly, no better solution was offered, and my misery had only just begun. After they inserted the catheter and emptied my poor bladder, there was no doctor or nurse available to take it out. As a small local hospital was understaffed, I can only imagine that I would have to spend the rest of my holiday with a tube shoved up my penis and a pee bag strapped to my ankle and I'll walk like that on the beach. If you think that's bad enough, wait until you hear the rest of the story, because the medical staff was too busy when I initially arrived at the ER. No one paid attention to the size of the catheter they used. At the end of the weekend, I was in horrendous pain because the tube had been too big and it wreaked havoc on the inside of my penis. Bottom line, I needed urgent hospitalization again, and I had to pay $12,600 for it, even though it wasn't my fault. My wife spent the last days of her dream holiday in the hospital hallways trying to convince the nurses to take care of me while I was knocked out with pain. As I was lying on the hospital bed, I wondered if I would ever be a normal man again. I didn't even dare to think if I would ever be able to be intimate with a woman I loved. I thought about all the pain and embarrassment I had endured, all the money I spent on gruesome medical examinations and chemical pills, about how I'd become a pitiful, senile shadow of a man in my wife's eyes, and how I'd probably have to wear diapers and catheters all my life. I realized I couldn't just sit there, paralyzed with fear, feeling sorry for myself and not doing anything about it. Nope. God is my witness that I would spend every waking moment looking for a real solution the second I was released from the hospital. So, as soon as I landed back home, I began my research with a question that might seem silly at first, but it was precisely what helped me unlock the mystery. Why do we pee? Why does our body do this in the first place? The answer is as simple as you might think. Your body does this to eliminate the toxins from your system. So, I wondered, what is happening when your body always feels the urge to pee? My assumption was that, in the case of BPH, the body constantly feels the need to pee because it is desperately trying to eliminate something that it considers to be toxic. But what? Was there something toxic in the bodies of so many men who suffer from this condition, no matter their age, genetics, or medical condition? And if so, where did it come from? Was it something from the exterior? Maybe an environmental factor? I started digging deeper, looking over maps showing the incident rates of BPH in America. What I found after a few days filled me with anger and despair. Listen, what I'm about to show you in the next seconds might make you fuming mad. I'm not going to lie to you. However, what I want you to keep in mind is that there is a way out. Here it is. If you were to look over a map showing the incidence rates of BPH and prostate cancer in America and compare it to maps that show environmental factors like pollution, soil, and water, you'll see a very interesting, but at the same time infuriating, match. The BPH incident rate map matches with the water hardness map. As it turns out, the answer is in the water, or in the tap water to be more precise. Harvard was one of the first publications who pulled the alarm. In America, the hard water is filled with solid microscopic matter like calcium carbonate, microplastics, and antibiotic residues or different medical substances, especially if you live near a hospital. All this solid microscopic matter or mineral buildup from the water, together with microplastics and antibiotics or medical waste residues, form a toxic, sticky mineral coating that clings to the wall of your bladder and all around your urinary system, just like limestone sticks to pipes. Instead of having clear water running through your internal pipes, you have all of this gunk that accumulates everywhere inside your body, and especially in your body's drainage system, your bladder. In time, it builds up, becoming thicker and thicker, creating a constant pressure on your prostate, coating it and making it larger. The prostate becomes engorged with this gunk, which makes you want to pee more in a desperate attempt to flush it out. More and more honest and brave independent researchers are doing their best to gather data about how the quality of water is directly related to the BPH incidence rate. But their good intentions come with a high risk. Government officials are trying to conceal information because the effects of citizens learning about this type of research could put many districts in severe financial distress. It would lead to elected officials being held accountable, something they desperately want to avoid. It would also cost around $92 billion to repair water infrastructure in the northeast of the U.S., $140 million from the Midwest, and no less than $204 billion in the South, according to waterworks and experts with first-hand knowledge of the extent of the problem. But the latest surveys have demonstrated that 44%, almost half of Americans, have improper tap water. This is caused by the aging water pipe infrastructure and poor filtering systems that allow mineral buildup, microplastics, medical waste, and even parasites to leak into innocent people's drinking glasses. Women don't suffer from this because their piping is less complicated and shorter. The natural reaction when you have to frequently urinate is to abstain from it. This is bad because the longer the calcium-filled pee stays in the bladder, the longer it has time to build up. In fact, you can see for yourself with the following test. Pour tap water into a transparent beer glass or beer jug and leave it for a couple of days. If you see a white substance build up on the inside of the glass, then imagine how much gunk and mineral deposits clog your urinary system after drinking that same water for years on end. Or maybe you think drinking more water could help you keep things moving. This is also bad because the more you drink, the more calcium enters your body and gets sifted through, coating the walls of your bladder. Next thing you know, your prostate becomes even more enlarged because of the body's natural inflammatory reaction. As such, it's pressing even stronger on the bladder, squeezing out the liquid, and retaining even more calcium. The more time passes, the more toxins and minerals build up, which is why BPH appears at an older age, even though some men are unlucky enough to get it earlier, like in their 30s. You might say, I do not live in an area with hard water. Unfortunately, even though you do not live in an area with very old infrastructure, everything is linked, just like rivers and oceans are, and a part of the water that is not filtered correctly will still run through your pipes at one point or another. Maybe you won't get serious prostate problems at 50, but there is definitely an increased risk at 60 or 65. After reading through all the studies, experiments, and reports, the solution seemed a no-brainer to me. Find something that would clear the sticky mineral coating off my prostate and urinary tract and flush out all the gunk from my system. How was I going to do that? I had no clue, but I had to find out. Even with all the pills from the doctors, I can't put into words how difficult my recovery was after leaving the hospital. I no longer felt like a man, more like a crippled shadow of myself, one that could be drenched in a pool of urine at any moment. Though all those doomed days, the only thing that kept me going was my fury. Fury at how the government is failing the men of America, the very same men who helped build this great nation, how it was robbing them of years. You work your whole life to put money aside to enjoy your twilight years, but instead, you are robbed of your manhood, having to go to the toilet all the time, crippled and miserable. That's why, even though I could barely walk around, I decided to return to my teaching job at the university and keep on trying to find a real solution somehow. After all, I did have half the puzzle solved, the real root cause of BPH. I knew what needed to be fixed. I just needed to discover the method to do it. Well, there must be a God out there because after just a couple of weeks, my luck changed for the better thanks to a special guest at one of my lectures. The special guest was Dr. J.N., and he had been working with SpaceX medical team for 9 years. My hands shook a bit when I met him, and no wonder. His career was so impressive, and clearly everyone thought so. I had never seen the conference room so brimming with students. Everyone had questions, from what SpaceX's astronauts eat or drink to how they sleep or what vitamins they take. The lecture was almost over when a student in the third row asked one question that filled the room with both laughter and curiosity. How do SpaceX astronauts pee while they're floating around in space? After all the giggles toned down, the doctor said that SpaceX's medical staff always made sure that their astronauts peed 2.5 times faster thanks to a formula they had to drink. This formula helped with the strength of the urine flow and helped them compensate for the lack of gravity. They sometimes called it the P in zero gravity protocol. As a side note, most of the SpaceX crew members were convinced that the reason they never got prostate issues was because of that drink. But that was just a rumor, Dr. J.N. concluded. Rumor or not, I immediately knew I had to find out more about it. So I invited the doctor for a coffee after the lecture. My heart was pounding while I told him my entire story and presented all the facts and papers I had found. I was basically begging him to give me the formula. Everything you're telling me makes perfect sense, the doctor replied, after listening to me patiently for the last 20 minutes. However, he could not give me the formula. That was top secret information. By divulging it, he would risk jail time and who knows what else. Can you at least give me the key ingredient of the formula or a hint? Anything? I pushed my luck. At that point, I had no shame. I had been through too much. The doctor sighed and agreed. As soon as the ingredient spilled from his lips, I was shocked. It had been under my nose all the time. I got home and I started verifying the science. Was there any proof that this common ingredient worked? After seeing dozens of studies, I had no doubt. This one key ingredient could dissolve even the hardest mineral crystals accumulated in the urinary tract and flush them away like they had never existed, while shrinking the prostate in record time. It also had a fascinating history. It had been used as an ink component by scientists, and it helped inventors make the first photographs until doctors discovered what a powerful cleanser and antiseptic it can be. But as I started to get excited, the doctor said there was a catch. The form in which you take this ingredient and where you extract it is critical. That was the last puzzle I had to solve. I remember, at that point, I turned into a madman. I started researching the most potent sources for this wonder ingredient, calling hundreds of local growers and suppliers to ask about processing temperatures and how their plants are grown and harvested. After 3 months, with some inside tips from the doctor, I finally had the recipe. All I needed was to create the formula to have the right dosage for every ingredient and ensure maximum potency. For this, I turned to the top students at the Department of Biological Chemistry and Molecular Pharmacology. Not only to them, but also to one of their professors and my best friend, Dr. Gary. These guys were geniuses, and they were immediately fascinated by my project. So they agreed to help me during the night when nobody was at the university. Some of them were just curious, while others had grandparents or parents who suffered from BPH. All in all, seeing all of them working in secret for something that could potentially save the lives of thousands of men, well, was one of the best feelings in the world. And after continuous months of testing every possible interaction in order to achieve the most effective combination of compounds, they came up with a powerful dropper formula, one that repeatedly proved its amazing ability to dissolve and crush all the gunk and toxic mineral buildup in dozens of clinical trials. I am going to tell you right now what the ingredients are, how they work in simple steps, and how easy it is for you to get them today. Step 1. Dissolve the toxic gunk coating that inflames your prostate and adds pressure to your bladder. As I told you, there is one key ingredient that can dissolve even the hardest mineral crystals that have accumulated in the urinary tract and flush them away like they never existed, while wiping out inflammation and shrinking your prostate in record time. And this ingredient is iodine. Now, if you're wondering how in the world iodine can do that, just like I did the first time when the doctor from SpaceX medical team told me about it, remember, there's a catch. Where it is sourced from is critical. Iodine might best be known as a surefire disinfectant before surgeries, but what few people know is that its power goes way beyond that. Emergency authorities use it to disinfect and clean water during natural disasters in order to make it drinkable again. In the case of nuclear emergencies, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends use of potassium iodine as a protection from radiation injuries. Most of all, iodine has an incredibly rapid effect against a wide variety of bacteria, viruses, microplastics, and toxic minerals because it can quickly penetrate and neutralize foreign microorganisms in our bodies while sheltering ourselves from damage. Epidemiological studies show an association between a high iodine intake and a low risk of deadly prostate diseases, while underlying its benefits for men suffering from an enlarged prostate. In fact, iodine has been shown to considerably improve urine flow rate in BPH sufferers where the prostate presses on the urethra. Iodine also prevents tract infections and improves semen quality. Your thyroid gland requires iodine to produce hormones T3 and T4, both of which help control your libido, stamina, weight, and energy levels. Men who lack iodine usually deal with erectile dysfunction, hair loss, and extreme fatigue. Now here's the most interesting fact. While 10% of iodine is used by the thyroid, the other 90% is excreted in the urine. This means that once present in your body, iodine quickly gets passed into your pee and travels along with it through your prostate, bladder, and urinary tract to leave everything sparkling clean and free of inflammation. You might assume you're swimming in iodine because there is iodized salt in your food. Well, that's not really the case. Since U.S. manufacturers aren't required to use this type of salt for processed foods, you are far from the daily recommended amount. The result is that we've been sliding toward iodine deficiency since the 1970s. When University of Texas at Arlington researchers tested 88 samples of table salt, they found that half contained less than the FDA recommended amount of iodine. This leads to no less than 2 billion people suffering from iodine deficiency. Even if you find a table salt that has enough iodine in it, it wouldn't help with your enlarged prostate. That's because the only iodine that has the power to penetrate and dissolve the limestone-like coating is the iodine that comes from certain types of seaweed. Pharmaceutical researchers at the University of Florida say there's one particular species of seaweed that helps protect various organs from chronic disease and fight prostate growth efficiently. Japanese men eat it all the time. In fact, in Japan, only 12% of men are affected by BPH in old age, while in America, the number soared to 80%. It's hard to think this is just a coincidence. This special alga I am talking about is called noriyaki leaf, and the medical findings suggest you can't find a more concentrated form of iodine anywhere else. Noriyaki can clear arteries of cholesterol while helping blood circulate freely and purifying your system of mineral toxic buildup. To make the formula even stronger, and to increase the quantity of natural iodine needed to destroy years of limescale deposits, we also added wakame. Wakame has been cultivated in Japan and Korea for centuries and has a stellar nutrient profile full of iodine. The iodine in wakame supports the repair of prostate cells that were affected by inflammation and has the ability to scavenge the free radicals that cause premature aging. Now, Let's talk about kelp. There are probably around 30 varieties of kelp, but only one of them has the iodine that can locate and obliterate the gunk and toxic mineral buildup that are wreaking havoc on your prostate. Not only that, this kelp also triples your urine flow and strengthens the cells of your prostate. In fact, thanks to its cleansing properties, in the 19th century, kelp was used as a water softener in order to purify it from hard minerals. For it to grow, this variety requires nutrient-rich waters between 43 and 57 degrees Fahrenheit, so there are a few Japanese growers who can really make it thrive. Because it absorbs the nutrients from the surrounding saltwater marine environment, it is called a powerhouse of minerals and can rejuvenate your urinary tract and kidneys. Kelp has strong antioxidant properties, protects cells against toxicity, and lowers inflammation. The last algae we've chosen is bladderwrack. Traditional medicinal practices have used bladderwrack for centuries to treat an array of conditions such as iodine deficiency, joint pain, digestive issues, urinary tract infections, and thyroid dysfunction. Most importantly, bladderwrack significantly reduces PSA levels. PSA is prostate-specific protein. When there's a problem with the prostate, such as growth or abnormal developments, more PSA is released. So, bladderwrack has the amazing ability to lower PSA and stop prostate enlargement. And with this, let's take it to step 2, flushing out all the gunk and toxic mineral buildup from your entire urinary system and body. After iodine enters your system and dissolves the toxic mineral coating, it is time to flush out all this solid, microscopic matter from your body. This is where Shilajit salt steps in. Shilajit, also known as the Indian Viagra or destroyer of weakness, is an herbal salt found among the rocks of Himalayas, and it shows outstanding effects in treating BPH, sexual problems, and tract infections. And no wonder. It's packed with no less than 84 good minerals. Shilajit removes any excess fluid from your system, cleaning your body efficiently and quickly. In one study, oral administration of Shilajit showed inhibit of prostate enlargement after just 15 days, while other studies have shown that Shilajit helps to increase testosterone levels, sperm count, and motility in more than 60% of subjects after 90 days. Moreover, it induces a proper blood flow to the male genitals. It also relieves anxiety and stress, leading to better sexual arousal and enhancing potency, all while slowing the aging process. It's time to move to step 3. Strengthening your prostate and double power up the urinary system well into old age. So many countries use this unique plane in their BPH treatments because it has real positive results. For example, it's found in 90% of BPH treatments in Germany and 50% in Italy. I'm talking about saw palmetto. During a 12-week study involving 92 men, it improved urinary tract infections associated with BPH. And in another study, on 85 men over 45 years old, it considerably increased urine flow. Evidence suggests that it also makes it easier to pass kidney stones. This wonder ingredient blocks the 5-alpha reductase, an enzyme that causes the spread and growth of harmful cells in the prostate. If this wasn't enough, saw palmetto can also improve hair growth by 60%. The best part? The strength of saw palmetto multiplies when it's combined with the iodine from seaweed. The next ingredient we added is so precious that, in some countries, it's considered illegal to buy, sell, or carry its seeds. This tree is called neem, and it left Asian medical scientists dumbfounded when it proved to reduce prostate tumors by up to 70%. It has antibacterial, antiviral, and antimicrobial properties which aid in UTI treatments. It was not easy to find the right process to dilute and extract neem essence, nor was it easy to find a supplier at a reasonable price. We can honestly say that managing to complete our formula with neem was one of the greatest accomplishments of our team. The last step is step 4. Boost your libido and increase your stamina. For this, we use pomegranate extract. Pomegranate extract increases testosterone by 25% in just 2 weeks and boosts nitric oxide, the natural chemical inside your body that controls the muscles inside your genitals. If your body does not produce enough nitric oxide, your penis will have a very hard time becoming stiff and strong. At the same time, this astounding fruit reduces estrogen, the female hormone, and protects androgens, the male hormones. This means a higher libido and stamina. That all sounds good, but what are the actual results, you might wonder? Of course, I was the first person to try it. All I had to do was shake the bottle well in order for the ingredients to combine into a super potent mix and take 1 full dropper every morning. I could pour it directly into my mouth or put it in my morning tea, coffee, juice, or in any beverage I wanted to. I chose to put it in juice as I had to admit the taste of the dropper was not the best, but I knew all too well that it was because the purity and combination of strong seaweed. They say good medicine tastes bitter, and I couldn't agree more in our case, considering what I followed in the next weeks. After the first few days, I didn't really feel much, and we were all a bit discouraged, I'm not gonna lie. But soon enough, when I woke up one morning, I could feel something had clearly changed. My bladder didn't hurt anymore, and even 4 or 5 hours could pass without me feeling any pressure. Slowly but surely, I started going to the bathroom once before bed and once more after a restful night of sleep. I couldn't believe I was yet again sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed and full of energy. While in the hospital, I needed a catheter to empty my bladder and diapers when I went out of the house. Here I was now, much sooner than I thought possible, in full control of my bladder, ready to teach a 3-hour-long course without having to go to the toilet once. There were actual tears in my eyes when I donated what was left of my diaper stash. My wife couldn't be happier. We were all over each other once again, spending long, intense hours in the bedroom. It was like my ED and BPH had never existed. Doctors could not believe their eyes. They saw me as an inexplicable miracle. How could someone go from a bulging bladder and inability to pee by himself to a 100% fully functional prostate in just a few short weeks? But the miracles were just starting. We asked more men to test our formula just to make sure it truly works. These men were fathers, grandfathers, or friends of the various students who helped me create it. We were overwhelmed by all the messages we got. Men who weren't able to pee properly in over a decade were now telling us how healthy and strong they were feeling. Others were thanking their lucky stars because they no longer had to deal with kidney stones, while others even claimed that they had canceled their surgeries because they no longer needed them. Since each daily report exceeded even my wildest dreams, it was clear that I couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to myself. I mean, how could I sleep soundly at night knowing that another man risks becoming dependent on catheters or diapers, or risks facing deadly kidney infections when I had the answer to the problem? I had to make it available to as many men as possible. We call this advanced and unique dropper PotentStream, the only 100% natural, scientifically formulated health solution that addresses the root cause of enlarged prostates, the toxic buildup of minerals, microplastics, and medical residue waste from hard water. Just take 1 full dropper per day in the morning. You can pour it directly into your mouth or put it in your tea, coffee, juice, or any other beverage you enjoy. Just make sure to shake the bottle well first so the ingredients can combine into an extra potent mix. This unique prostate cleansing formula gathers 9 scientifically proven extra strong ingredients that clear inflammation and flush out all the toxic mineral buildup and microplastics from your system. Iodine and the 4 iodine-rich seaweeds are most efficient and bioavailable in their liquid form, which is why the dropper provides such impressive results. Every dropper is manufactured in the USA and are FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. We regularly and meticulously disinfect the equipment used to process the ingredients and package our bottles. This prostate cleansing formula is non-GMO and safe. It does not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins, and is not habit-forming. Since its release, it has provided relief for more than 160,000 men. People like Benji Beeve from New Orleans, Louisiana, who said,
"My biggest fear is that I would end up in diapers. It sent shivers down my spine every time I thought about it. Then a friend of mine had told me about your method. At first, I thought he was messing with me. I was taking the strongest medications out there, but they didn't work. How could this work? Not only did it work, but it did wonders for me. I don't get that annoying sensation that I have to pee all the time. I just go 6, 7 times a day, and that's it. It's just amazing, honestly."
BPH is horrible as it is, but when it also causes problems in the bedroom, it's just the worst. Every time I tried to get it on with my wife, I got this burning sensation that ruined everything, or I felt like I had to go. I used to joke that I sat more on the toilet than on the couch. Anyway, after following your method, it feels like I've never even had problems. Everything works better than ever, and I think my wife agrees with me on that one.
Or CJ from Santa Ana, California, who was delighted to let us know that,
"In my case, I wasn't only dealing with prostate enlargement, but also kidney stones. One time I had to pass one of those stones and it just nailed me to the floor. Thank God now I don't have to deal with either. I pee when I want, and my kidneys are good. You should have seen the look on my doctor's face when he saw the last lab test results. He's still trying to figure out how I managed to turn the tide on BPH."
By now, I'm guessing that you're probably ready to try the state-of-the-art solution for yourself. And you should be, because it is the first scientifically backed dropper that allows you to shrink your prostate and gain control over your bladder ultra fast. So with all that in mind, let's talk about how you can get PotentStream today. First, what you need to know is that we absolutely refuse to cut any corners. With this prostate cleansing dropper, you're always guaranteed a premium, state-of-the-art product that is clinically tested and proven to work. We've never spared any expense when it comes to formulating it, especially since there are only a couple of laboratories in the world that can work with algae, iodine, and shilajit with such precision and care that they keep their properties intact so they can do their job. Clear every trace of toxic gunk and dissolve the limestone-like coating that's causing pressure on your bladder. The bottom line is, quality like this doesn't come cheap. However, when you compare the price of this unique prostate cleansing dropper with the dozens of formulations containing outdated generic formulas that barely have any help, and when you take into account the lack of real solutions for BPH, urinary tract, and kidney infections, we could easily offer this at a very high price. And considering the results our customers have seen without having to go through any embarrassing and uncomfortable rectal exams or expensive surgeries, most of them said they would pay it without even blinking. Think about it. How much would you be willing to invest to pee like a fire hose whenever you want and enjoy the strength, energy, and libido of a young man every single day? Or how much would you be willing to invest to never have to run to the toilet all the time, or be at risk of urinary tract infections? And best of all, you never ever have to fear that you might end up leaking in front of everyone or wear diapers. What would you be willing to spend if you were absolutely positively sure this formula would do wonders for you? $300? $500? $700? But you know what? How can I put a price on your health or on the peace of mind that being free from BPH brings? That's why my team and I thought that in order to make it affordable for most people, but also cover the ingredient costs, and at least part of my research time that my team and I have invested, the retail value of this product should be $175. Honestly, this is a steal considering what this unique dropper can do. However, our goal with the state-of-the-art prostate cleansing formula has always been to put it into the hands of as many people in need as possible. That's why we decided to cut the middleman and, instead of selling it in stores, make it available only on our website and pass the savings on to you. This means you don't need to invest $170 to transform the health of your prostate and urinary tract, nor $150, not even $120. All we want is to cover the cost of the ingredients and keep this site running for as long as possible. Even though I'll have to charge $99 for one bottle soon, considering the prices of the ingredients are rising because supply chains are very fragile nowadays and energy prices keep going up. And even though $99 for one bottle is surely a lot less than a visit to the urologist, today, only on this website and nowhere else, you can get your very own 30-day supply of PotentStream for a one-time 100% risk-free investment of $69. That's right, $69. That's less than $2 a day to clear up your internal piping and allow pee to flow out effortlessly in one steady stream, just like you used to when you were a teenager. And because I am so grateful you've made it this far into the presentation, which means you're serious about your health, if you order a 3 or 6 month package, we'll give you an even bigger discount and additional bonuses. Here's why. While many of our users experience noticeable changes in as little as a couple of weeks, the real magic happens when you take it for at least 90 days. We've seen the effects of this prostate cleansing dropper on a lot of patients, and that's why I would recommend you put one full dropper into any beverage of your choice daily for at least 90 days, just to make 100% sure there's not a single trace of toxic mineral buildup attacking your prostate, urinary tract, or kidneys. Honestly, I cannot estimate exactly how much mineral buildup and toxic gunk has accumulated at this point. You know how thick and hard the limestone-like coating that's covering your bladder is. This depends on many factors, like the area of the US that you're living in, how much tap water you've drunk during your life, and even your immune system. But especially if you're over 40 years old and if you've drunk tap water for at least 3 years during your lifetime, I recommend you take this prostate shrinking formula for at least 3 to 6 months. 6 months if you want to be sure that not a single trace of toxic minerals is left no matter how much hot water you've drunk during your lifetime. 6 months of this prostate cleansing dropper will also rejuvenate your entire urinary tract, help dissolve any kidney stone quickly, and supercharge your libido and stamina. You can forget about ED or low energy. The healing ingredients will have enough time to build up and thrive in your urinary tract and body, clearing everything of solid microscopic matters and toxic minerals, continuously reinforcing and freeing your prostate and bladder. This means the longer you take this prostate shrinking dropper, the better you feel, while the toxic coating burdening your prostate dissolves and gets flushed out faster and faster. In the meantime, the more your prostate shrinks, the more easily and better you pee. Your progress improves exponentially every single day. And it would be a shame to be so close to never having to deal with an enlarged prostate ever again, just to notice you're out of this rare prostate cleansing dropper. Missing one day might lead to the immediate reaccumulation of the mineral buildup and toxic gunk that haven't been yet flushed out of your body. That means you could risk compromising or slowing down your entire progress while having to wait months even for a new batch of this rare and advanced dropper to be available again. And when they finally are, if we manage to get all the ingredients again, that is, you might realize that the price is twice as high. While today, you can get our 6-month package at a huge discount. It even comes with free shipping. You won't spend a dime to get your delivery. This means that for less than $1.50 per day, you could be able to solve every single one of your prostate problems for good. But that's not all. If you're smart and order the 3 or 6 month supply, you'll also get 2 bonus online guides worth $148 absolutely free. First bonus, the Sex Master. Easy tips to become an unforgettable lover. $79 value. Inside, you'll discover the #1 sex position that will have her screaming with pleasure and begging for more. And 99% of men have no clue what this position is. The ancient Chinese flying seagull sex method to have the most mind-blowing orgasms of your life for both you and her. The single most common mistake you can make when having sex, women will never admit it, but it's a complete turnoff. The shockingly simple method to lasting as long as you want in bed and have her shaking with pleasure and loving every second with you. The next bonus is little-known on-demand erection hacks used by adult movie stars. In this guide, I'll reveal the little-known shepherd's herb that only costs a few pennies, but that scientists say is like Viagra on steroids. The galactic G-spot technique that gives any woman otherworld orgasms. It was first inspired by the strange behavior of astronauts in space. The vanilla and spice super tonic that increases stamina in the bedroom so you can have sex again and again in a single night. I can't wait for you to read them. I want you to be completely satisfied. So once you invest in 3 or 6 bottles, we'll also give you 2 bonus online guides worth $109 absolutely free. You will gain access to them immediately once you place your order. That's how confident we are that you'll love what this prostate cleansing dropper has in store for you. Now, maybe you have friends or family who also suffer from BPH, or maybe you've been dealing with an enlarged prostate for some time, or maybe you just like to be prepared. More and more of our customers are choosing to invest in a larger pack of 6 bottles, which saves them no less than $120 and gives them 2 free bonuses worth $109. And you should also know that our special bottling method keeps our prostate cleansing formula fresh for at least 2 years on your shelf. Due to the extremely limited supply and high demand, most of our clients are choosing the 3-pack and 6-pack packages. I can't guarantee this offer will be available if you choose to leave this page and come back later. So don't hesitate to stock up today for maximum savings. Please know that you won't find us anywhere else. We do not sell on Amazon or any other website. The only place where you can order this prostate healing protecting formula is right on this page, and the page will only be up for as long as we have remaining stock. If you're skeptical, we totally understand. You've tried a lot of methods, you spent a lot of money, went through so much pain and nothing worked. I am so confident that our unique prostate shrinking dropper works that I'm going to give you our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't experience any traumatic improvements or you're not content for any reason whatsoever, we will promptly issue a full hassle-free refund. All you need to do is contact us within the first 60 days of your purchase. You can even send back the empty bottles and we'll still refund your money. Just get in touch with our friendly customer support staff and they'll be happy to assist you. The contact information is right on the bottle. This means you have 2 whole months to decide if PotentStream is for you or not. Your order today is a one-time payment with no subscription or hidden charges. Just choose the package you want below. Once you click on your chosen package, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Just fill in your payment details using your credit card, debit card, or PayPal. After that, we'll quickly send you your order in a discreet package for maximum privacy. Again, this offer is in extremely high demand, so my suggestion is don't delay. You see, it can take us from 6 to 9 months to produce a new batch as we're willing to accept only the purest ingredients. Otherwise, its efficiency would be compromised. And sure enough, searching for and sourcing the most potent ingredients around the world delays things considerably. Next, We ask a third-party lab to test the quality of each ingredient to assure this advanced dropper does its best work. Finally, they're released to our contract manufacturer here in the USA for bottling. We don't receive the batch in our warehouse until the formula passes all tests. As you can see, there are a lot of steps that involve a lot of people. What's more, with everything going on in the world right now, our distribution faces a lot of challenges, and with rising demand, we will be out of stock soon. Therefore, if you decide not to try it today, I can't promise it will be available later. Think about it. Right as you're watching this video, thousands of men across the country are rediscovering what it's like to enjoy a steady and strong urine flow. Happy to be completely free again. No more embarrassment, no more pain, or fear of urinary incontinence. So, it's no wonder they keep asking us for more bottles for them and for their dear ones. That's why, while this one-of-a-kind prostate cleansing dropper is still available, I urge you not to wait if you're still on the fence. And when you click the button below, don't forget the multi-bottle packages. That way, you'll make sure you have the rare dropper on hand for the next several months and won't risk running out just when you start to enjoy its amazing results the most. Remember, it has to do everything I said it would do and even more, or I insist you send back the bottles, even if they're all empty, for a prompt and friendly refund, as you're protected by our 60-day full money-back guarantee. I want to offer you a sincere thank you for watching my presentation and congratulate you for taking what I think is a gigantic step towards a life without suffering. If you're still thinking about it, I just want to ask you to take a second and imagine what awaits if you don't choose this prostate cleansing formula today. You might decide to spend more time and money looking for various options. This might take weeks or even months. In the meantime, the health of your prostate will just get worse and worse, until the point where you might have to wear a catheter or diapers. Or maybe you believe the problem will go away by itself. Sadly, I've never heard of such a case. Quite the opposite. The more you leave BPH untreated, the more mineral buildup and gunk accumulate, suffocating your prostate and pressing on it, causing countless sleepless nights while you're desperately trying to squeeze out a few drops, robbing you of your freedom, libido, and strength. But it doesn't have to be like this. There's another option. Risk nothing at all today. Grab PotentStream right now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Be in complete control of your bladder. Pee like a racehorse whenever you want and enjoy the strength and libido of a man in his prime, just like it should be. So, just click below and make your choice. Enter your payment details on the secure order form and place the order now. We'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. Every order comes with free shipping no matter where you live, while the 3 and 6 bottle packages also come with 2 free bonuses. I can't wait for you to experience every single benefit that this one-of-a-kind prostate cleansing dropper has to offer. Still here? Great! I wanted to take a second to answer the most common questions I get about a rare prostate cleansing formula. I just wanted to make sure you feel 100% comfortable with your decision to order today. 1. How and why does PotentStream work? In the case of BPH, the body can't stop peeing because it is desperately trying to eliminate something that it considers to be toxic. After several studies, scientists have realized the answer lies in the water. In America, the hard water is filled with toxic microscopic matter, minerals like calcium carbonate, microplastics, or medical waste residues. The prostate becomes enlarged because it fills up with too much of this gunk and, over time, limestone-like deposits form all around your urinary system. The prostate becomes engorged with this toxic buildup. It makes you pee more in a desperate attempt to flush it out. This scientifically formulated solution gathers 9 proven extra strong ingredients into one unique dropper that targets the root cause of prostate enlargement and urinary tract infections, clearing and flushing out all the mineral buildup and toxic gunk from your system. It has been proven by the experience of over 160,000 satisfied customers like Bernie C. from Detroit, Michigan, who said, "This dropper helped me feel normal again. It feels like I got my life back." Or Charlie M. from Plano, Texas, who wrote to us, "I've been divorced for 3 years and, thanks to your formula, I finally have my confidence to meet women again. Many thanks." Of course, the only definitive way to know for sure how well it can work for you is to try it today using the special no-risk offer that you can find only on this page. Are there any side effects? Our prostate cleansing dropper has been designed for all ages and medical conditions. All its ingredients have been proven safe in clinical trials and are constantly tested for purity to ensure against toxins and contaminants. Moreover, it is manufactured in an FDA-approved facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. With more than 160,000 customers, we haven't seen any noticeable side effects. So, we're confident in saying that this is one of the purest prostate formulas you'll find on the market. As always, if you currently have a medical condition or you're taking other prescription medication, we advise you to show a bottle to your doctor before you take it, just to put your mind at ease. When and how should I take this prostate cleansing formula? We recommend you take 1 full dropper per day in the morning. You can pour it directly into your mouth or put it in your tea, coffee, juice, or any other beverage you enjoy. Just make sure to shake the bottle well first so the ingredients can combine into an extra potent mix. What if it doesn't work for me? Can you tell me about the guarantee again? The more results we see, the stronger we believe this cleansing formula has the power to completely transform the health of your prostate and urinary system. It's true, though, that nothing works for 100% of the people who try it, as each body works in its own way. That's why every bottle comes with an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If, for any reason, you aren't fully satisfied with the results, you can just return what you haven't used for a full refund. What if it works too well? We've seen a few cases in which our prostate shrinking dropper worked incredibly fast and our clients needed fewer bottles than estimated. Our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee applies in this case too. Just return what you haven't used for a full, no questions asked refund. Even though, if I were you, I would save this unique prostate cleansing formula for my friends or the men in my family. How can I get started? It's very easy. Just click the button below now to go to our secure checkout page, enter your information, and we'll immediately get to work shipping the prostate cleansing dropper right to your doorstep. So, all you have to do today is click below. Fill in your payment details on our secure order form and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.